Hey everyone, Game Hunter here, and today, this very day that it's going to be posted, I have no idea when, we're looking at a game that was originally Japanese but has been translated into English. It is a game that was suggested to me just a little while ago, and it reminded me that it was a game that had been suggested to me a long time ago. So for the both of you, maybe you know who you are, we're going to try it out now. It's called Elona, and it is a game developed by Noah, who's, I suppose, the Japanese developer. I think last year? I was just reading news posts because I was trying to make sure that I had the latest version with the music and graphic packs so that we can make the game look nicer and sound. That it has sound. Okay, yes, right. So, but they're working on a Java port, and maybe eventually they'll make it even stronger game. But anyway, just FYI quickly, I guess. This is a take 2, almost a take 3, just because I suck at game audio, and you'll notice that in a Dungeon of Dreadmore video if you happen to be watching that at the same time as this. So I already know exactly what I want to be getting, and so we're not going to waste too much time focusing. Oh crap, I have horrible stats that I'm supposed to have. Those top two, strength and constitution. Alright, there we go, that's good enough. Now I'm going to be looking at dexterity, perception, and will, but not quite. Ooh, that's a close one. I don't particularly like the perception roll, but the other stuff's pretty darn good, so we're going to go with that. And then I can pick 3 traits because I'm a human. I'm basically a human. If you read that, it's like these guys learn faster than everybody else because they're part of mechanized technology progress. So I just picked 3 pretty normal sort of abilities, increasing of. Oh wait, not evasion. How do I Darn it! I guess I'll just undo it this way. Yes. And yes, I receive extra bonus points. That's amazing. Alright, so increase HP, and I guess you can just do more of them if you want, but increase HP, increase speed, increase defense. Alright. And then these, I don't even know what the point of the alias list is, because you can just re-roll it and get 100,000 more of them. Let's be the Uncensored Fist. That's great. Alright, so I need to go ahead and remake this character yet again. There's a lot of different things you can choose. There are like 100 different hairs and sub-hairs. I could be Ponytail Devil Man. And I could also be Regal. I'm not sure why the bodies go as far as they do. They're not really supposed to. But anyway, I will be making this to what it looked like before. So anyway, back when I'm back. And here we go. I don't know. Basically the hair matches the portrait, but everything else is. Originally I got an alias, the Vagabond, so I wanted to look kind of like a regular old Rurouni Kenshin, whatever. So, because this game is highly influenced by anime, in case you hadn't realized that by now, and I even see a number of references. For instance, one of the classes I think is a claymore, and that references a manga that's literally called Claymore, and it's about those people that do that very thing. Anyway, this is all of our stats. I just did. What? What am I re-rolling? I can re-roll, like, stuff? The heck's going on here? I guess. Except I don't want to be, like, 30. I'd rather be. Huh. Oh, darn it. Let's see if I can find my actual. There we go. But that's horrible melee. Yes, if you. Well, I'm low 20s of my age. Let's say that. Honestly, it's not that big a deal. But sure, why not? Let's go with this one. I didn't even realize you could reroll on this screen. I've always assumed the reroll down here meant doing other stuff. But okay, shift. Alright, and finally, our name. Halduran. I don't know why, it's just what came to me at the time. So anyway, we got a lot of text, and I'll be reading it, so hopefully you guys don't mind. Otherwise, skip a few minutes. Anyway, so Ages ago, in the times when the scars of Rem Ido still marred the land of Urva, the 11th era of Seri Ter began. In those days, the land of Urva was still plagued by destruction and war, and though prophesied as the beginnings of peace, Seri Ter brought chaos as well as hope. And honestly, Seri Ter, I don't know what to use. You know what? I'm gonna say Sierra Ter. Yeah, it was close enough. It rained for over a month. When the torrents finally subsided, the forests surrounding the region of Karun slowly transformed into an inhospitable blight. Strange fogs oozed forth from the forest, and the creatures grew violent and mad. The Elean... Darn it, I can't remember. Elean Forest. Yes, that's it. The Elean Forest grew with frightening speed, and though it originated in Vindale, it rapidly began to consume the whole of Karun. As the forest devoured the land, it drove countless refugees into the western reaches of the continent. But then, not so long ago, Seymour, prince of the western empire of Zanan, issued a proclamation blaming the destruction of the world and the end of Rem Ido on the forests. His orders demanded the annihilation of the Elias and subsequently the obliteration of the Vindale forests. In short order, the violence grew. Suspicion and mistrust infected the hearts of the people. Many of the Elias. For some reason that's hard for me to see. Many of the Elias, fearing persecution, fled deep into the Vindale. Now the conflict grows worse with each passing day, and a final confrontation becomes more and more inevitable. I don't know if I'm a good reader. It's fun. I apologize for indulging. The night is almost past. You have stowed away aboard the Queen Sedona, one of the last ships to leave for North Tiris. It is her maiden voyage, and she is bound for Port Capul. Suddenly, you are awakened by the sound of sky-shattering thunder. Heavy winds pitch the seas into disarray, and the ship wails in agony as increasingly violent waves slam into her bow. A gust of fierce, dry wind buffets the ship. A faint blue light creeps across the night skies, and wisp-like tendrils of shimmering air begin to sweep over the oceans. An old sailor mutters a faint curse under his breath. The aether wind descends upon us. This would probably sound more pirate-like, but whatever. The ship roars in misery as the very planks holding her together are eaten away by the ether's light. Then, without so much as a moment's warning, the hull and all the ship's passengers are swept into the oceans. Like more than one? Okay. You feel a surge of wild emotion in your heart as you are pulled beneath the waves by powerful tides. The last thing you remember as the Queen Sedona is swallowed into the depths of the sea is the mysterious dancing light of the ether winds drifting away from you as you sink into the depths. Alright, I think the music timed pretty well there. That was cool. That worked out. Okay, I'm not actually going to read this stuff, because if I started doing that, and this is, after all, a Japanese-influenced roguelike, and therefore will have RPG-ish elements in there, we would be here forever. So I will let you guys read this sort of stuff, and I will just kind of speed read it in an attempt to get the information from it. So, yes. And these guys are from Vindale, and, you know, as we read in the introduction there, the Elias, I'm going to misdo that every time, I'm sure. Noble but blameless heretics aren't keen to spend idle time responding to every senseless question, right? So yes, and there's a person next to us, which was the healer, which just saved our lives. Thank you so much for saving my life. Yeah, right, so. Looks like you aren't familiar with this land. Before we leave, I can spare a moment to teach you a few lessons. And if you don't mind, guys, let us just go quickly through the tutorial. Pray tell me you at least know how to move. Of course, with buttons. That's how I always move in my real life. I just kind of command my arm to go 6, and it just extends. And then the other one is 4, and then my legs are 3 and 1, respectively. And yes, this is one of the cool things, is that there is kind of a hotkey sort of game inventory, I don't know, command menu, if you will. So yes, we can just move using all the numpad. So that's all that. And we can just press 5 to wait. Somebody just ate. Man, you make loud noise over there. Larnier. Japanese stuff for me is just... because I imagine most of the names and whatnot aren't... Like, well, they're more literally translated, and I'm pretty bad when it comes to that sort of crazy katakana speak. Anyway, so we have context. These aren't context based, but these are little menus that show up, and as you can see, there's 9 of these little spheres, and they all correspond to a different press on the numpad, which is pretty cool. So we can use that to move to various bits, and I can look at my journal right now. I should check the dungeon called Lesimas. It's located south of Vernus, because somebody told me about that already. I think I just spoiled myself there. And here's all the help buttons and how the game works. And maybe let's actually look at this. I haven't really looked at this much. So we get max HP, close combat damage, amount of weight you carry. That's pretty typical for strength. Constitution's HP, stamina, and also weight. Alright. So as a warrior, I get both of those pretty high up, so I'm good to go for that sort of stuff. Dexterity's chance to hit. Perception is evasion. Okay. Bonus to range. Okay, so that's for archers. Obviously those two. Learning, MP, and rate of skill growth. Okay, so that's willpower. Wow, willpower is MP, HP, and stamina. So that's an all-over good one. And then, yeah, we got magic and charm. Charm for influence. So, anyway. We can press G just to get. I think there's probably a button for it. Somewhere, maybe. Oh, this is the examine button for looking at stuff in my inventory. And we can also press 7. Does it show it? Huh. That seems a little untranslated there. But you can see right here, 7, 9, and also you can use tab to just move through all these menus. So the one he wants us to do is... And I can't believe he wants us to do this, but eat a corpse of beggar. My last time I was so disgusted with the concept that I didn't bother. But we'll do it this time just because. So now we'll talk to this guy. Yes, blah blah blah. We already read that. And he's like, "You really ate that thing? Oh well." He's just making fun of us. I kind of like it when tutorials have a bit of sass because tutorials are usually pretty boring anyway. So now we can go ahead and read a book, and we can also use bashing and digging by using the Z command. And yes, space allows us to perform context-based actions on the things on the ground. So, right now, if we want to, we can just get... Why am I... How did I get Oh, that must have been the... That must be the corpse that I just ate. Dang, that corpse was bad for me. That's bad stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead and dig. There we go. A valuable gold bar. Wow, we just found something pretty incredible, didn't we, guys? Even though we already have 519 goops. So yes, use identify scroll stuff. And I suppose you could probably use ID and equip ID to some extent, but I don't know yet. So let's go ahead and... I think it's use for the... Oh, I haven't picked it up yet, that's the problem. There we go. And now we read it. Read that scroll of identify on that valuable gold bar, and it turns out to be a cursed, worthless, fake gold bar. Darn you, pyrite. Fool's gold. Weapons and art, yes, right, all that stuff. Looks like he buried it unnoticed. But the gold or the expression? Yeah, probably. So now we're going to learn how to fight. Take my old bow and arrows and equip them. Alright, so to equip... Yeah, right. So we go ahead and pick up all this good stuff. Also a blessed scroll of vanish curse. Is that remove curse in disguise? I don't know. But we're going to get rid of this metal stone and exchange it with the longbow, and now we'll have arrows. Congratulations. Note that if you wear cursed equipment, it can't be... Oh, use this to uncurse it. Okay, sure. I didn't actually notice that last time. Uncurses some of your stuff. Alright, cool. So now this is no longer cursed. All done. Now listen carefully. By moving towards a target, automatically attack it. This is pretty standard roguelike stuff. F to fire, you can use the Z command menu to go to that. Kill them with your bow if possible. Try to stay, as bows aren't effective in close range. Oh, okay. How nice. Oh man, they won't. Okay, there we go. Huh. Stay away from me, you scoundrels. Whatever. Just kill you. Kill you normal style. Where's my HP? I can look at it here, I think. Right? Yeah, but where is it normally? Oh, there it is. I think this is it. The game doesn't really explicitly show that. In fact, it says life and mana are very different values. Huh. Very different. Whatever. I'd like to get far away, but you spawned them right next to me, you know? Whatever. So, we'll just kill you with my bare hands. I would know, I am the uncensored fist. What is this? Salary chest? Oh yeah, right. He's gonna explain that in a bit. Oh, let's learn a little history. So yes, there's occasionally new ruins. So we're supposed to go and check out those. So there's chests. Supposed to try opening this chest, which we can just press O for. What? I have to use the lockpicks. So let's go ahead and get the lockpicks. Do I have to then equip them? I wasn't entirely sure about that. No, it doesn't look like I can. Perhaps... oh yes, right. It's X, and then you can just use in that manner, I think. Yeah, use. But we can't use the lockpicks. They're just right here. You have to... Oh, I actually have to identify those to use them? Maybe not. The fact that I can't, like, do anything with them is a bit worrying, but whatever. Notice the chest has a lock. Lock requires sufficient lockpick skill and lockpicks to open. You need to practice to open that chest. Be aware, those are heavy. Yeah, he's like, don't carry chests with you. They will get you killed. So, and always remember to throw stuff back in your house. So this is our pocket dimension, except it's somewhere that we have to walk to, at least for now, I'm sure. Salary chest periodically gets filled with some golden items, right? So yes, thank you for explaining how the game works. Oh, that's it. I swear, in games like these, especially with the sprites, gender is slightly ambiguous on the sprites. It's usually a little more recognizable with the face, but not always. So, anyway, she's going to explain things about what she does, and yeah, so she's trying to make it seem like they're better than heretics, basically. North Tiris, right. Lots of merchants. Nephia, if you haven't set your destination yet, right, yeah. So eventually we'll be told, well, we were told to go there, and then our journal said to go south of that to probably a dungeon. So here's this story. It's basically Beauty and the Beast. So that's how that goes. And, you know, Stockholm Syndrome saves the day as always. So that's pretty much how that works out. You know, Mulan, she could get a little more credit. She kind of saved China and she doesn't get anybody. Let's not talk about Disney. Anyway. Right, so that was how that works. And she kind of likens herself to the Beast. Go figure. Because you'd think, maybe not, you'd think more of the Beauty, but no, she feels more like the Beast. In fact, let's read that. Perhaps it's because I felt like the Beast that she loved despite the fact that his ugliness had been left behind somewhere. Oh! Oh, never mind. She doesn't liken herself to the Beast. She thinks that the Beauty, so to speak, is perhaps saddened by the fact that technically she kind of liked the dude for who he was as a beast. Okay, sure, why not? I'm sure certain prowesses are improved with that. So we have this. By the way, this is my house. This is my house. I can even tell him to get out of my house. but I'm not going to do that. That's mean. So, that, yes. I mean, after all, they kind of saved my life. It would be mean if I just took them out of my house. I don't know if this, because I don't feel like I have a backstory at all. For all I know, I woke up in this strange place. And it's just weird the way that worked out. But we also have, we got a freezer, we got rations that we could pick up if we want. We got straw. And we have our salary chest. Oh, I don't want to pick that up. It's kind of heavy for one. Rather, I want to open it, but there's nothing in there yet. I suppose that'll be periodically that it works. Nothing to open there. Even though it's a shelf, I know that literally shouldn't be something to open, but whatever. And yeah, apparently houses have kind of ratings because it's Japanese game. I'm sure I'm going to say that many times. I don't mean to take offense. I don't mean to give offense to Japanese stuff. It's just there's always little quirky things that for Western-styled games seem very different. But I can appreciate it. I just always find it kind of weird at the time. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk to Norm here because, you know... Oh, it's Sierra? It's Sierra. Even though gotta click the hyperlink here. So yes, he's talking about inventory stuff. Make sure you always put it in your chest. So they're saying reading spell books in your house is best to do in your house because if they're hard, then you don't want to waste time. But as a matter of fact, you can have enemies show up by accidentally reading them poorly. So yeah. So this is the world map. Deet. If you want to use them, you will need to enter local map mode. Alright. Right. To stand monsters, you will encounter wandering merchants who will sell you quality but expensive wares. Huh. Why would wandering merchants have that stuff and not the guys that are just kind of settled in a good place of business? I don't know. You'd think the peddlers would be the ones selling, like ShamWow or something. So anyway, I know we don't really show off anything in this first episode most of the time. But that's how it goes. And it looks like somebody's actually... I think somebody's... Because this game has like an Elo chat with it that kind of can... Oh, crap, sorry. Unselecting the screen kind of makes things go slow. But there's this thing called Elo chat, which actually shows a bunch of things happening. I believe that's what's happening down here. But I don't know. I guess I don't know. Anyway, this has been Game Hunter playing Elona. Next time, obviously, we will actually start playing for reals. But let me know if these first episodes being tutorials and story and stuff are troublesome. I could always say, like, prologue. In fact, I might just do that with this one. I did that with the Castlevania one, so, yeah. Which, I wonder how many of you guys remember that. So, anyway, until next time, keep playing those roguelikes, guys, and take care.